Hey everyone, in this video lecture we will be discussing about your class 10 mathematics chapter 2 polynomials. So, starting with the definition of a polynomial. A polynomial is defined as an expression which is composed of variables, constants and exponents. Means a polynomial is a such kind of expression which consists of few variable terms, with few constant terms and few exponent terms that are combined using mathematical operations. And you know what are mathematical operations? That is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So I'll explain this thing with few examples. Say actually we define any polynomial as px. Suppose we have a polynomial px where this variable is x. Okay, we are defining the variable as x, then px is equals to say 5x cube minus 4x square plus x minus root 2. So you can easily say that this px is a polynomial where these x terms are variables. Okay, these x terms are variables. This 5, 4, here nothing is there, so 1, it's not 0 actually, this is 1. These are the constant term. So this 5, 4 and here 1, these are, and this including minus 2 as well, all these are constant terms. This is a constant, this is a constant, this 4 is also a constant, this 5 is also a constant, and here this x is a variable, this x square is, and this x, not x cube, this x are the variable terms. Now we have also learned that a polynomial also consists of few exponent terms. So you know what are exponents? See, you can easily identify this 3, 2, here nothing is there, so again there is a power of 1, so all these are the exponent terms. Okay, and this is a polynomial. We can also have some other polynomials, such as we can write it as like if you define as, we can write 4x plus 2. This is also a polynomial. Px is equals to 4x plus 2. And it is not mandatory that you will always write a polynomial with a variable term x. You can write it with some other term as well. Like if you want to write it as like with u, you can write it as pu is equals to, I am taking some random example, 7u to the power 6 minus 3 by 2 u to the power 4 plus 4u square plus u minus 8. Anything that is in the form of, that consists of variables, constant and exponents, which are actually combined. These terms are combined using some mathematical operations, and these are the mathematical operations: addition, subtraction, or you can even have multiplication or division. See, division is also there, these two are like multiplication are also there. So this is a polynomial. Now coming to the degree of a polynomial. So the highest power of x in a polynomial px is called the degree of a polynomial. For example, I am taking the previous example once again, or some other example I am taking. Say you have a polynomial py. You have some polynomial py is equals to 2y square minus 3y plus 4. So here the degree of the polynomial is the highest power of y, means here y is the variable term. Here we have taken in the definition I have written x, because here we are denoting the polynomial as px only. But here if we are denoting the polynomial as py, then we will take the highest power of y. What is the highest power of y? We have two exponent terms for y. This is y square, and here nothing is there, so here there is y to the power 1. So in this case the highest power of y is, that is 2. So here the degree of the polynomial is 2. The degree of this py polynomial is 2. Taking some more examples, considering the example as pu is equals to 7u to the power 6 minus 3 by 2 u to the power 4 plus 4u square plus u minus 8. Here the highest power of this pu polynomial is this 6. Highest power of 6 is highest power of u here is 6. See, here you have u to the power 4, here you have u to the power 2, nothing is there, so you have here u to the power 1, but this u to the power 6 is the highest one, so here the value or the degree of the polynomial is 6. Coming to the next one, a polynomial with degree 1 is called a linear polynomial. Whenever you have already learned that what is the degree of a polynomial. Now whenever you find any polynomial of degree 1, that is a linear polynomial. Okay, so I'll take some examples again. Like if you have px is equals to 2x minus 3. So here in this polynomial you will see that the exponent term for this x is 1, because x to the power nothing is there, so we have x to the power 1. So here, since the degree of this polynomial is 1, so we can call this polynomial as a linear polynomial. Considering some more examples, like if you have p z is equals to 3z plus 4. Again here we have one variable term, that is z, only one variable term, and the power of z is 1. So this is also a linear polynomial, since the degree of the polynomial is 1 over here. Considering some more examples, that is if we take pu is equals to 2 by 3 u plus 1. In this case also the power of you have 1, so this is also a linear polynomial. Now the next one is a polynomial of degree 2 is called a quadratic polynomial. Whenever you have any polynomial of degree 2, that is a quadratic polynomial. I'll explain it again with some examples. So if you have some polynomial px is equals to 2x square plus 3x minus 2 by 5. So here the variable terms are this x square and this x. So these are the variable terms, and we have the power of x. The highest power of x is this 2 is the highest power of x, and this 2 is the degree of the polynomial. Therefore this is a quadratic polynomial. This px is a quadratic polynomial. Coming to some more examples, if you have like pz is equals to 4z square plus 1 by 7. Here also you will find that this z square, you have one z term, and that is z square, and the degree is 2. Therefore this is also a quadratic polynomial. Now again, whenever you find any polynomial with degree 3, means a polynomial of degree 3 is called a cubic polynomial. Examples for this is, considering px again as a polynomial, and we will write the polynomial as, I am taking some random examples. Okay, you can take any other example. 3x square minus 3x cube minus 2x square plus x minus 1. Here you will find this highest power of x is this 3, and since this 3 is the highest power of x, so degree of this polynomial px is 3. Therefore this polynomial is a cubic polynomial. So here is how we define the degree of a polynomial, and how, based on the degree of the polynomial, we classify the polynomials as linear polynomial or quadratic polynomial or cubic polynomial. Now, coming to the zeros of a polynomial. A real number k is said to be a zero of the polynomial px if pk is equals to 0. So I will first explain it with some example. Like if you have any polynomial px such that I am taking again some random example like x square minus 3x minus 4. Now I'll consider some value for this x. I'll consider the value of x as 4. I am considering for once. So if we consider the value of x as 4, this will be 4 square minus 3 into 4 minus 4. That will give you 16 minus 12 minus 4. That will be equals to 0. So putting the value of x as 4 in this equation, in this polynomial, we got the final term as 0. We got the final answer as 0. Therefore, we can easily say that this 4 is the 0 of a polynomial. We can say the 4 is the 0 of polynomial px, where px is equals to x square minus 3x minus 4. Now, is 4 is the only 0 of the polynomial, or do we have any other 0 of the same polynomial px? So let's check with some other examples as well. I'll take one more polynomial, one more value of x as minus 1, p minus 1. If we take p minus 1, what we will get? Minus 1 to the power square minus 3 into minus 1 minus 4. That will give you 1 plus 3 minus 4. That will be again equal to 0. So here we again got a zero value for p is equals to, for x is equals to minus 1. Means whenever you are putting the value of x as minus 1 in the polynomial px, you got the value as 0. So minus 1 is also the 0 of a polynomial. So here we got to know that for the same polynomial px, we have got more than one zeros. Okay, so these are the zeros of the polynomial, and the number of zeros of the polynomial depends on the type of the polynomial. We have already learned about various types of polynomials, that is linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial and cubic polynomial. So based on the type of the polynomials, we will have the number of zeros of the polynomial. The number of zeros depends on the type of the polynomial. So now we will be discussing about that how we can identify the number of zeros of a polynomial based on what kind of polynomial that is, and in the further classes we will also discuss that how this is represented in the geometrical form. So I guess this zero of a polynomial is very much clear to you. The zero of a polynomial is nothing but whenever you put any value for the variable term in that particular polynomial and you get the final answer as 0, you will say that particular value, that particular k value is the 0 of that polynomial. So here we have to find the 0 of a linear polynomial. So we will discuss about it. First, we will discuss it with some examples. We'll start with some examples directly. That how will you find the number of zeros or the 0 of some kind of linear polynomial if you have been given. So say we have some like polynomial such as px is equals to 2x plus 3. Now say we are writing here px polynomial, we are denoting the polynomial px as y and we are writing it as y is equals to 2x plus 3. Now we will try to plot one graph for this y is equals to 2x plus 3. We will try to plot some graph for this. But before plotting the graph, we need some points, right? it's mandatory to find some points. So we will take some values, such as we will plot the graph in this way. We will take some points first. You have learned this in your junior classes as well, no? So we'll take 2 points. Okay, so putting the value of x as -2. Okay, we are putting the value of x as -2. Then you will get 2 into -2 plus 3. We are putting the value in this equation. So y will be equals to 2 into -2 plus 3. That will give you -4 plus 3 is equals to -1. So here the value of x that we have put is -2 and the value of y that we got is -1. Okay, similarly we will take some more point, considering the value of x as 0. So y will be equals to 2 into 0 plus 3. That will give you 0 plus 3. That will be again equal to 3. So if the value of x is 0 here that we have taken, the value of y will be 3. You can take any other values, okay, but 2 points are sufficient to plot a graph. So I have taken only 2 points. You can take more than 2 points as you wish. Now we will be plotting a graph based on these 2 points. So moving to the graph part now. So I will draw the x and y axis first. Okay, this is x, this is x dash, this is y, and this one is y dash. This is our origin. We will plot the points as well. No need to take much points because here we have the values, very less values we have taken. Okay, here the negative values we will be plotting. Here again you will take the values, positive values in the y axis. I guess this is very clear to you. And negative values in the y dash axis. Okay, so now plotting the graph. How will we do that? So first x is equals to -2. This one, right? Here we have x is equals to -2 and y is equals to -1. Means the value of y is also negative. Means this point somewhere over here. Okay, so we will circle this. Okay, the next one is x is equals to 0. Means x 0 is here and y is equals to 3 is somewhere here. So we will consider this point as well. So this point is -2 -1 and this point is 0, 3. Now we will draw a line connecting these 2 points. And this is a straight line that we have got, and this line we will write one expression, that is the expression for px, that is 2x plus 3. So what we got over here? We saw that for this polynomial, which was a linear polynomial that we have been given, linear polynomial, why? Because the degree of this polynomial was 1. So for this polynomial, for a linear polynomial, we got a straight line. And this is what is going to happen whenever you are going to consider any kind of linear polynomial. If you consider any kind of linear polynomial, you will definitely get a straight line. But in this case, we have to find the 0 of the polynomial. So till now, it is very clear that for every linear polynomial, we are going to get a straight line. if we are going to plot some graph, we will get a straight line. Now in this case we have to find the zero of the polynomial. So how will you find the zero of the polynomial? For finding the zero of the polynomial, you need to find that at what point, since this polynomial is based on like x, here the variable is x, here we are finding the degree on based on x. So here we will find that at how many number of points, or at what number of points is this line cutting the x-axis. So at only one point, at this point only, x-axis is being cut by this straight line, and that point is minus 3/2, 0. Okay, and so you can easily conclude that the zero of this polynomial px, is minus 3/2. So for a linear polynomial, it's very easy to find the zero of a polynomial by plotting a graph. Now what if you don't want to plot a graph and then also you want to find the zero of the polynomial? It's very easy step, students. The polynomial was given to us as px is equals to 2x plus 3. Now you consider that 2x plus 3 is equals to 0. 2x is equals to minus 3. You have to find the value of x. X is equals to minus 3/2. This is what we got here, right? And the same thing you got here. So you can either find the zero of the polynomial by plotting a graph if you have been asked in your exam, or you can directly find it in this way if you have to find the zero of any linear polynomial. Keep it in your mind, this is only for linear polynomial. Now we will move on to the geometrical meaning of zeros of a polynomial. So what we have already learned, that for any linear polynomial, if we plot any graph like, then you are always going to get a straight line which will cut the x-axis at one point only, which will cut the x-axis at one particular point. Okay, and the number of zeros of a linear polynomial is always 1. So we can conclude 2 points, that number of zeros of a linear polynomial is always 1 because it cuts the x-axis at only one point, and the second point is we will always obtain a straight line for a linear polynomial. Right? Now moving on to a quadratic polynomial. What if you have been given a quadratic polynomial? So you have been given two graphs over here, and these graphs are for quadratic polynomial. Now how will you find the number of zeros for this polynomial? So here you can easily identify that, considering the first graph, here the x-axis is being cut at two different points. See, the x-axis is being cut at two different points. This is one point and this is the other point. So the number of zeros for this polynomial px is 2. The number of zeros is 2. Similarly, here also, in this one point and this point, we will again have the number of zeros as 2. Okay, so the number of zeros, we can conclude that number of zeros for quadratic polynomial means a polynomial with degree 2 is always 2. Now say you have been given one general, I am writing one general formula for a quadratic polynomial. General form of a quadratic polynomial, say y is equals to ax square plus bx plus c. Now based on this value of a, you will find the type of graph that you are finding. The type of graph means for a quadratic polynomial, once we got this type of graph and in this one we got this type of graph. Both these graphs are actually parabolas. This type of graph are known as parabola. Okay, and whenever you get this value of a is greater than 0, if value of a is greater than 0, you will get this kind of parabola, and means a upward direction parabola. And whenever the value of this a is less than 0, you will get this downward direction parabola. So this is what you can identify with a quadratic polynomial graph. Means the graphical representation of any quadratic polynomial will be like this, and the number of zeros for any quadratic polynomial is 2. And you will always find a parabolic graph for any kind of quadratic polynomial. Coming to some other kind of graphs of a quadratic polynomial. See, here also you have been given some kind of parabolas only. Here this is also a parabola and this is also a parabola, right? Here the number of zeros are 1, because actually both in quadratic polynomial we always get 2 zeros, but here both the zeros are coinciding at this one particular point. So this is also, whenever, as I told, whenever you get some parabolic graph, you will get to know that is a quadratic polynomial only. So since we are getting a parabolic graph over here, we can easily identify that this is a quadratic polynomial. But here, since this is touching the x-axis at only one point, so we can say that both the zeros are coinciding at one particular point in this graph, because we know that in quadratic polynomial we have 2 zeros, but here it is touching the x-axis at only one point, so both the points are coinciding at one particular point only. See here, you are getting two more types of parabolic graph we are getting here. So these parabolas are also like the graph for a quadratic polynomial only, but since these graphs are not touching the x-axis at all, this is not cutting the x-axis at any particular point, both the graphs, therefore we don't have any zeros for these polynomials. For these kind of quadratic polynomials, we don't have any zeros. So these two polynomials have no zeros. The previous one had only 1 zeros because it was cutting the x-axis at one point, so it had only 1 0. And the other one had 2 zeros because it was cutting the x-axis at two different points. But since these three are parabolic graph, so we will say that these parabolic graphs are for quadratic polynomial only. So a quadratic polynomial can at most have 2 zeros, or it can also have no zeros as well, or it can have 1 zero as well. Now coming to the graph of cubic polynomial. So in this graph you will see that the x-axis is being cut at 3 different points. So here the number of zeros will be 3. 3 is the number of zeros. Okay, so it's very clear. The next graph is again for a cubic polynomial, but it is cutting the x-axis at 2 points only. In this graph also and in this graph also. If you notice it carefully, it will cut the x-axis at 2 points only. So here the number of zeros is 2. So both the graphs were for cubic polynomial only, the previous one and this one. But in both the graphs we got one graph. In the first one we got the number of zeros as 3, and in the second graph we got the number of zeros as 2. So we can conclude that for a cubic polynomial, the number of zeros can be at most 3. Means it can be at most 3. It can even be less than 3, but it cannot exceed 3. Okay, the number of zeros can be at most 3. So what we have concluded till now, I'll write the points here once. For a linear polynomial, the number of zeros is 1, or you can even have 0. For a quadratic polynomial, the number of zeros is at most 2. And for a cubic polynomial, the number of zeros is at most 3. For a linear polynomial in class 10, what you will learn is the number of zeros is 1 only. You will not learn about any kind of zeros. Okay, and that's not possible actually. So the number of zeros will be 1 only. So here we will be solving few examples. Okay, so you have to find the number of zeros in each case. In the first one, the number of 0 is 1 because it is touching the x-axis at 1 point. In the second case, the number of zeros is 2. It is touching the x-axis at 2 different points. Third one, number of zeros is 3, touching the x-axis at 3 different points. In the fourth one, the number of zeros is 1. Straight line we have got. Linear polynomial it is, and it is cutting the x-axis at 1 point only. In the fifth one, the number of zeros is again 1. It is touching the x-axis at 1 point only. But since this is a parabolic graph, we will say that this is a quadratic polynomial. In the last one, the number of zeros is 4, since it is touching the x-axis at 4 different points. So the fifth one and the second one are the graphs for quadratic polynomial. Why? Because we are getting the graphs as parabola. These two are parabolic graphs, right? And this fourth one is for linear polynomial, because why? Here we are getting a straight line. Okay, so that's it for this video. In the next video we will be discussing your exercise 2.1. Thank you.